My name is Kevin, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Hey guys, my name is Kevin, and I've got an interesting project for you today. We have this electric-powered Batmobile that I bought for my nephew for his birthday, but I made a few upgrades and adjustments. So let's take a look, and I'll show you what I did and how I did it. So one of the first things that I did was I added a electric-powered water gun to the Batmobile, and you can see right here, this is the nozzle. This is where the water comes out. This is actually just a fitting. You can see right here, I think this is for a 1/4 inch tubing, and I used 5/8 inch tubing throughout the whole project, and then when I came here, I just tried to decrease the size, the diameter of the outlet. So I just got this fitting that goes from the 5/8 hose down to the 1/4 inch size hose, which has a very nice small diameter and helps the water pressure, helps it shoot the water quite far. So we'll come around here. This is the intake for the water for the whole system, and we have this little on-off, this little valve. Oh, it's stuck. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, it goes backwards. Well, that's kind of annoying. Anyway, so it goes back. You open this up. As of right now, you basically just shove the hose in right here, fill it up, close it before you take the hose off. Now you can see it's not super easy. So there's actually some adjustments that I'm going to make to it. This is actually the reason why I have it back here. Why I have it is because I'm going to be adding a quick disconnect to this right here. And if we look underneath here, you can see, and this is actually probably my least favorite part of the system because it just kind of is flopping in here. This is just an old Camelback bladder that sits underneath here, and it's connected in part to here. There's a hose that comes from here down to right here into the lid. You can kind of see this right here. I just kind of hot glued it shut, and this is where it fills up the bladder. And then over here, if you can see, let's see if we can get underneath here. Right here you can see this is where it comes out the bottom of the bladder, and it comes up into where the water pump is. Just give me 1 second and I will take off the seat and show you what we got underneath the seat, I guess. Not really the hood. Okay, let me grab a screwdriver and I'll take this seat off and we'll have a look inside. Let's see. How do you fix this? Plug it out of the way. Let's take a look inside and see what we've got. Okay. So this is the mess of wires that we have that lets us achieve this. I guess we can start right here, over here. So this piece right here, this is a water pump. It's just like I think it's like an RV pump designed for putting in like for a faucet in an RV or something. It was like 25 bucks online. So there's a hose that actually comes in through the floor, and then the water pumps it up through here and back down out all the way. You know, I have it routed through here and comes up inside of this piece right here and attaches right here, and the water squirts out there. So if we come back, we can look and see. Yeah, so we have the pump wired in through here, and it's hooked up to the battery. So there's just one battery that runs both the motor for driving and also the pump. Though I did add some buttons so that you can manually control the pump. It just has the same source. So we'll look right here. Okay, so this is the steering wheel. And if you see these guys right here, and you hear that sound right there, that's actually triggering the pump. The pump is engaging and is trying to pump water out of the bladder. And so we've got two buttons right here. They do the same thing. They're just wired in parallel. So it doesn't matter if you hit one or both at the same time. They just do the exact same thing. And it was kind of interesting. It's a funny little story. When I first bought this, there was just these little plastic bumps right here. Oh, sorry, you can't even see. There are these little plastic bumps right here, just yellow bumps. And I was like, okay, I can just drill those out and put a button in there. But this steering wheel is actually kind of well, let's get back on here. This steering wheel is actually kind of a clam-shaped design, so this just pops off. There's some screws, 3 or 4 screws in the back, and this pops off. And actually, these little yellow bumps were just plastic tabs that were just fillers for these holes. The holes were already there. So all I had to do was find a couple of buttons that just fit right in there and fit in there perfectly. And I didn't have to do anything. It was fantastic. And then I just ran the wires down through the steering column, drill the hole. Let's see if I can get in here. Drill the hole right through here and ran it underneath the floorboard. We'll lift up the car real quick. Whoa, sorry. We'll lift up the car real quick. And you can see that the car actually already has this covered area. If you can see this right here. Let's see if I can get my hand free so that you guys can actually see what I'm talking about. This thing right here, this actually had the wires already running through it for the pedal and the on-off switch. So I just put my cords right through there. I just unscrewed it, routed them through there, screwed them back on. It's fantastic. You can see right here, here's the hose. It's coming from the pump all the way back there and comes in. I just drill the hole right there in the side, if you can see that. And comes out right here. All right, so let's see. Let's go back underneath the seat and kind of explain a little bit more of what we got. Okay, so this right here is actually a separate battery pack. The reason being is these switches right here, as far as I could tell, were only rated for AC voltage, and kind of doing some research, reading up on it, switches like this that are only rated for AC, you don't want to be running a lot of voltage through them, because I guess AC voltage is a lot softer or a lot easier on switches than DC voltage, because with the alternating current, you don't arc as bad as you do with direct current. And so I wanted to kind of save these buttons or have these buttons last a long time. So what I actually did is I have, where is it? Let's see if I can, right here, this little guy right here. This is just a little, oh, you can't see anything. This is just a little mechanical relay. So you push the button and the voltage from these battery packs actually triggers the relay to actually, so this is actually kind of like a second switch right here. When I push the button, it actually connects the battery to the pump, and that way the voltage from the battery never goes up into the switch. They're completely separate circuits. So I only have, instead of having this 12 volt battery, you know, with a large potentially large amp draw. It's just this little battery pack. I think there's 4 AA's in there, so and I think only 2 of them are in series. See, I can't remember series. But anyway, I think the volts is only like 3 volts, 6 volts at max, and it's not going to be. It's going to be a lot easier on the switches. That's my intent anyway. So you can see right here. Here's the one motor that drives this whole crazy thing. Oh, and also this right here, this battery is an upgrade from the original. The original only has a 6-volt battery, but because I'm running a motor, 2 motors actually, the pump motor and the motor to drive this thing, I decided to beef it up and get a bigger battery that has more volts, so this thing can drive. It actually helps this guy drive a lot faster too. As you can see, we'll come down here and we'll look. Oh no, got stuck. Let's see if we can come take a look over here. Okay, right here you can see that looks pretty worn because it's twice the voltage. So here we'll come look at another tire. Well, you can't see that very well. We'll come in the back. Let's see if you, oh, there you go. You can see that pretty well. So this actually has little ridges to give it some traction. And as you could tell, compared to the wheel that actually has the motor running on it, that guy, the one with the motor on it, is almost completely bald. So I think a second upgrade that I'm gonna have to do is actually get like a bike tire, splice it, and glue it to the tire so that it actually can have some real traction. But anyway, yeah, so that's kind of the modifications that I made. I had no idea what I was doing when I started out. I did a lot of research on basic circuitry. I don't really know much about electronics. It took me forever to figure out just to wire these 2 things in parallel. That was probably the easiest thing to do, but the one thing that I was the most worried about when I was building this, because I didn't want to fry the buttons or something like that. But it actually turned out, like I said, to be really easy. Just wire them in parallel. Yeah, so I will go ahead and actually let me see if I can find that quick disconnect real quick, and I'll show you. The problem is I think that the fitting is not going to match up. I think it's going to be male to male or something like that. So let's take a look, because here we go. So here's the fitting. Let me flip this around so I can see what's going on. Okay, so here's the fitting. Pops up like this, kind of like a quick disconnect for an air hose or something like that. I think though is that this has got to screw in, this side's got to screw in to the hose or the faucet or whatever, and then this side is supposed to be the one that screws into the other thing that you want to connect to. But the problem is we'll come down here and take a look, is that's the male end, which means that this is going to screw on to the side that is supposed to have the hose on, and then this is supposed to come in here. So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to maybe reverse this, maybe because I have a fitting. You guys can't see anything because I'm horrible with my camera. Let's come back over here. Okay. So I have a fitting that this is actually screwed onto. Maybe what I'll have to do is have that be a female fitting, so then I can just take this piece and reverse it. That actually might be nicer too, because then rather than having to push this in like this, I can So like I say, you gotta get your finger in there. I can actually just pull it out and have it straight. So, and then if I have this little piece and I switch it around, then this guy will screw in on that end, and the other piece can go on the hose, and they can do their quick disconnect. Hopefully I can find a piece that'll work so I can switch this around. That's basically the modification that I made. It's pretty fun. I'll have to show it to you in action once I make the change, and we'll get everything put back together, and we'll kind of show you how the pump works. We'll show you how the squirt gun works. Oh, another modification that I might end up making is putting some glue or something under there to kind of point it up, because right now it works, but it's pretty low, and it kind of almost just kind of falls out. So if I can maybe get build up some hot glue underneath that to kind of just have it sit like that, it'll point a little bit better. And you know, with it clear, maybe I can just end up painting the whole thing black so it blends in a little bit better. So I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of the Batmobile. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And remember, failure always precedes success. See you guys next time.